So I made a video why women don't tell men what they want in sex. One major reason for it, you can watch that video. There is a second reason why women don't tell men what they like in sex, what they want men to do in sex. So as a sex coach, you often hear this very simplistic comment, just talk to a woman, find out what she likes, you don't need anybody else. In reality, it will work only sometimes, it will work to some extent, it is not as simple as that. It's quite an idealized view that overlooks a huge reality for women, which is women often don't tell men what they like in sex and what they want men to do because they don't know it. They would tell you, but they can't. They don't have that information, they don't have that knowledge. Women often know that sex doesn't feel great, that it is not working, but they don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to make it work better. Now, for all men who think that this is unreasonable or fickle in some way, this is actually, very, very reasonable if you think about it. She can only tell you what she really wants and needs in sex if she has already experienced it in the past, but has she? The truth is, a lot of women are just not in that place. Most women have not gone out on a journey of self-discovery to travel the world, to discover her sexuality, to, meet the world's 100 top lovers and to bring to you this, distilled knowledge of her ultimate sexuality. What's the average sex history of a woman? She had a boyfriend in school, 2 boyfriends in college, a few drunken one-night stands, a few disastrous flings, one guy who was amazing in bed but disappeared after 2 times she saw him, 2 or 3 long relationships with a boring, routine, monotonous sex life. That's your average history, give or take, with obviously, large margins on either side. The majority of her past experiences might have been basically a repetition of each other. People think that sex should be something simple. It isn't. It does take a lot of knowledge. So a lot of people just have a very kind of basic DIY version of it, and that is all they have learned from. Women are completely in sexual crisis. The whole sexual culture just does not serve a woman's needs, does not access women's sexuality. It's all just commercial, cheap drivel. Women are trying to learn, but there are very few good sources, just like there are very few good sources for men. So women are not these fountains of complete knowledge about herself. They're still winging it and discovering it, and they still often don't know what is going on and how to feel good in sex. So for a man to think that he can just go and ask a woman what she likes and he will get, all the best tips from her, it's a nice idea. It's quite idealized. There will be bits and bobs that some women will tell you. There will of course be exceptions of, some women who have explored a lot, that really understood, what they want. This video is not about them. You are definitely not having any issues with getting them to talk, I'm sure. Most women will be able to tell you something on the macro level, that she's into one kind of thing or not into it, that she orgasms like this or doesn't, or it's difficult for her. Because often people also think that what they need to ask is like, what you're into, what kind of fantasy you have. But the most important questions are, how to get the best sensation out of the body, how the body works, how it needs to be touched in different areas, what is the process that works for the woman. These are not the things that a woman can pluck out of her head like a fantasy or something she's into. These are the things she literally will not know unless this has been done before. A woman might be able to tell you something about a particular kind of sex, like, how she likes her clitoris touched, more firmly or lighter, or with what kind of movement. But even so, a lot of the time, what women know about their bodies is kind of like, it works, it's okay. They often have a feeling that, it's not quite everything they are able to feel. They don't know how to take it further. So often, in a way, even the things that women do know, they're kind of not optimized. There is potentially out there like a better way for them to do it. And here we come also to another kind of side issue here. That, just asking a woman what she likes in sex is kind of lacking a growth mindset. Let's take an example. You ask me what kind of food I like. I'll tell you, for example, I like Mexican. Then you're going to say, okay, so I'm going to cook Mexican for you for the rest of your life. On one hand, it makes sense. I will like Mexican. On the other hand, if you take me to Indonesia, maybe I will like it even better. Or at the very least, I also want to have a mixture of other cuisines apart from Mexican. So even when a woman knows certain things about herself in sexuality, there is still possibly a great potential for her to discover even better things, to optimize them even further. So there's got to be a balance between asking what a woman already likes and to take that on board, and also seeing potential for the things she still might not know about herself. Because you don't know what you don't know. So the advice I would give separately to men and to women. If you're a man, you can't just take the attitude that, you just ask a woman what she likes and you will do what she tells you to do. First of all, she doesn't really want to do that. It's like a short circuit for her. Like she's got to tell you like how to do the whole sex. She can answer specific questions about particular things, but not to like commentate it like a football match. She wants to relax and enjoy sex and for it to be natural, for her to be in the moment. So you can ask a few things, but generally you still need to be a lover who can do things, right? You can't just come in, sit down in front of her on the bed and say, so what do you want me to do? right? So as a man, you shouldn't expect her to have all the answers. You have to treat it as a discovery for her, a discovery of her own sexuality that she's doing with you. And this is really awesome because you can be the one who can help her to discover her sexuality. And, you can be the only one, unlike her boyfriend in college and her boyfriend in high school and all the disastrous flings after that. Especially if it is your wife, somebody who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. For her to discover that whole journey to herself, to her greatest sexual experience with you as a process is really special. Like for her to come with some kind of ultimate result of her sexuality that she has got somewhere else, like probably not an amazing idea for you or for her. So for men, you've got to come with something, and then you can ask. You have to give a woman new experiences and then ask her how they felt for her. A lot of learning in sex happens reactively. You have an experience and you go, oh, that was very nice. How did we do that? Let's do that again. She didn't know that moving like this could feel better. Now she does. She didn't know that this technique or this process on the clitoris gets her to an orgasm even faster. Now she does, She didn't know that this process of arousal actually gets her aroused much faster. She couldn't have come up with it all herself. So it is still very useful for men to learn from an external source, to learn good understanding of women, to learn the best techniques for her in sex. So you need to come with that. And then on that basis, you can be having a conversation with her, what she likes out of all of it, how to adjust it for her, how to tweak it. So learning from an external source is still very valuable and effective. It's very important to choose the right source, of course. The one that you feel is reliable, the one that you feel will teach you well, the one that is aligned with you, with who you are. Sex coaching is like any other coaching. Theoretically, you don't need a coach. You can do it all on your own, but not as well, not as fast, with less ideas, with more risk, with less effect, etc. You are just getting better ideas and optimized ideas, but you still try it on your partner and they tell you what they like, what they don't like. So that still happens. You still tweak it to them, you adjust it to them, you just get better tools. Now for women, my advice would be, don't expect that men would do that. They might not be aware that this is how it works, that they can't just come and ask you what to do. And if you want a man to go out there and learn from an external resource how to make you feel good in sex, it is at your own risk. You can see what's out there. So the best thing that a woman can do to understand her needs is research it yourself, try to understand how things might work. Bring to your partner the actual things that you want to try, the things that look to you like they might work better for you. So you will still learn from the experience with your partner, but you will have that control over which things you're going to do that make sense to you. So here I will direct you to my holistic sex course because I think it's very helpful to women. I'm aware that this is a plug, but I make my products responsibly and I believe you will learn well from that and it will have what you need. The holistic sex course is for both partners, so it has a lot of stuff for women on women. So all the best practices for you to feel better in your body, they are taught there. You can learn them from there. How you can connect better with yourself, what your body needs at every part of sex. It's all based on many years of my professional experience with women, testing out these techniques and practices on many, many women and their relationships. You can study that and then you can have a conversation with your partner about it. So my hope is that this video has been helpful for better understanding, and I'm wishing you to have a great relationship in love and understanding and discovery.